Avast and ahoy once again to ye mateys. I be Josh the Pirate, and I be here for another episode of Tactics Tuesday, where I go into a bit of a discussion about something relating to D&D or tabletop RPGs. Today, I will be looking at Dungeon Fog, which is a map-making program, which I have a subscription to at the moment. Hi, Tony Karlstrom, good to see you. Did I read the PDF? The one that you sent through to the Discord, I haven't had a look at it yet. You need to understand the setting, how the 2D20 system works. Basically, I think that what we need to do, Tony, is actually have a Zoom chat, the two of us, and go through it. I much prefer to actually talk the thing out. I will have a look at the PDF in a moment. I have been at work like all day, I'm afraid, so I just sort of got home, sat down, and was like, oh, there's a PDF. I haven't read that yet. No, I have not, but I will. Thank you very much for sending it to me. So right beside me, right here, there, is a map that I built on Dungeon Fog. It's the first map I ever built on Dungeon Fog, and it's fine. It is a wooded depression. And I basically used every picture of a tree they had. Burnt down tree, particularly, because I wanted a burnt depression. Right. Excellent. Thank you very much. Yes, I should probably expound on who the heck I am. I'm Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsair's Cove, where I do D&D related things. If you like that kind of thing, then yeah, you could check me out here. But you've already done that. Good job, well done, keep doing it. Otherwise, you can find me in the podcast There Be Dragons, where I play the infamous and deadly pirate Skern Felspar and his little dragon, Rush. We had a session, hey bloody, good to see you. We had a session just on Sunday, and Scan is super party dadding it at the moment. So what's fun about it is we're about 30 episodes ahead of the actual release schedule. So the episodes that is being released, Scan is quite a different person. Dead Fox, hey, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me, guys. And so Scan has changed a lot. In fact, there has been quite recently a fairly major change for Scan, just in terms of, like, the party dynamic has radically shifted recently, and he's been forced to be a better person, but also just a few things have hit him really hard in succession, and yeah, he's undergone a bit of a transformation, which is kind of cool and really fun for me to play. If you enjoy your D&D, but you don't want to have to listen to anybody's face meet, then you can check out that podcast, where all good podcasts are found, and on SoundCloud as well. I think SoundCloud? Spotify, that's the one. Not SoundCloud, silly me. Beyond that, I run Corsair's Cove, my channel with my lovely wife. Tonight, yes, I'll be looking at Dungeon Fog, a map-making program, because I want to make a few more maps. I want to start using a VTT system for my games, but and I used to, when I was running Flux and Fire, I did used to run it all through Roll20, which is not a bad VTT. It's quite good, it's quite well integrated, and the guy who was running my tech for when I started on Roll for Damage, the chap who was the tech over there, Veg, he helped program Roll20, so he was a wizard with it, and taught me a lot of what I know about it, so I was quite reluctant to go any of the newer ones. I hear good things about Foundry, for example, but I've never bothered to actually go and look, because I really do enjoy Theatre of the Mind. But sometimes, for some battles particularly, having a map is really useful. And also, as a visual aid for the audience, it's just something else that's interesting to look at, and it was sort of a cost versus reward situation for me. Do I have the time to make maps on top of building the overlays and writing the episodes and commissioning the art and putting out all the stuff? I just didn't have time. But I do now, and I have a 6-month free subscription to Dungeon Fog from doing some charity work at the end of last year. So, I gave it a swing, and I've done a few. What else have we got? How do I go backwards? I am still very new with this program. Do that. There we go, back to my dashboard. So, yes, I built the Smouldering Delve here, which is the name of the prison that the chaps and chapesses on Monsters and Magic investigated. It's quite a big map as well. This is a 50% scale. Don't move stuff. Stab it. Undo that. I just want to move the actual... I find it quite unintuitive. But there you are. There it is. That's at 50% scale. It is a big map. Let's go to 40. Anyway, you can all pretty much see it. I also... Can I remove the grid? That'll be useful. Just because it looks a bit crap. I'm sure we can. Alright, so that's the Smoldering Delve. I also, for the students I teach, built... so the show we're rehearsing at the moment is set in a hotel. And so when I'm telling, alright, so you have to go off in that direction, upstage or downstage, and they're like, I don't understand how are you making these distinctions? Why there? I'm like, because that's the hotel foyer. You're in the hotel foyer. That door leads that way. That door leads that way, and they just couldn't wrap their heads around what door led where. So I made a map. Relatively useful teaching tool, actually. The kids really appreciated it. So let's scale that back out to about that. Yeah, there it is. This is the Hotel Montreuil-les-Bouchons. And yeah, this here is the main foyer. And it's not particularly detailed, it's not particularly good. I did it in about an hour. But this is it. Now I'm starting to figure it out a little bit. And yeah, I was able to do that in about an hour. And it's handy, because now they have an idea. So this is the main foyer. This is the kitchen. The dining room. Stairs up to the second level. This is a rehearsal room. The kitchen up here. There's a stage there and a balcony down the bottom. Yeah, it's pretty good. And just as a teaching aid, it's kind of handy. Thanks, buddy. There's some really cool assets in it. It's a really neat program, and I would endorse it. Not only do I endorse it, DAG, Dead Aussie Gamer, is their instructional video. I went and was like, they've got an hour-long tutorial on how to use the program. I'll watch that. And up pops Dead Aussie Gamer. I'm like, fucking DAG, gets everywhere. It's the herpes of D&D online. So, I figure we make a couple of new maps. Maybe, perhaps. Those of you tuning in tonight actually get a bit of a sneak preview. No one can ever escape the DAG. No, exactly. Because I have a couple that I want to make for future games. So you guys get sort of sneak previews of what might be coming up in future games, which is exciting for you guys. The original plan was to have Brendan on tonight, but it turns out I fucked up and he's actually supposed to be next week. But that's okay, and we will be discussing Last Shooting, which is a mech combat game, which we're thinking we might use instead of Battletech, because the Battletech universe is a really cool place to run games, but the actual game system itself is really poorly designed, and I simply could not get my head around it. Like one particular element of character creation, it was like, now you buy little experience modules for your character, but it doesn't tell you where or how much they cost. So it gives you a list of them, but it doesn't really A, explain what they do, or B, how much they individually cost. So you've got like 2,000 experience points to spend, and they don't understand what costs what and how you spend it and where you spend it. And yeah, there's just a whole bunch that the book simply did not explain, and I'm like, this is bad. Battletech, yeah. Battletech and MechWarrior are the same thing, Tony. Battletech is the MechWarrior universe. It was Battletech before it was MechWarrior. I have some of it behind me. I have several of the handbooks. I've got House Curita, I've got the Major Periphery States, I've got the Wars of Reaving. I also own, but I have misplaced the House Liao, which was the first book I ever got of it, and it's really good. The lore is incredible, and I've recently started acquiring a whole mess of the old fiction like from the late 80s and 90s, when when there was an animated TV show out of it as well. And it's good. It's bad sci-fi trash, but it's really good bad sci-fi trash. And a lot of the authors went on to write some of my favorite series in other settings. My favorite Star Wars author cut his teeth writing for BattleTech. And his BattleTech stuff is pretty good, and also established some of the major lore in the universe, which is really cool. Michael A. Stackpole, who wrote X-Wing for Star Wars. Star Wars Legends now, not the true canon, as all true Star Wars nerds will call it, but yeah, not the Disney canon, the original canon. And it's way better. I've got some of the new canon books, and they're okay, but they're not as good. They're just not as good. Oh yeah, I'm true sci-fi nerd lore. But yeah, the BattleTech books are very, very good. And I found there's a brilliant secondhand bookstore in Perth in where would it be? Yokine, called Bella Books. And it's really, really good. They're just phenomenal sci-fi and fantasy section. And every now and again I go in there, and I saw like three of them. They had about half a dozen actually, and they slowly disappeared. I was one of the people buying them, but I think others were as well. I picked up three of them. I picked up the second book of the Grey Death Legion saga, and read it, and I was like, oh, this is so good! And then, it's by a guy called William H. Keith. William H. Keith, turns out, is also Ian Douglas. It's just a pen name. And Ian Douglas is the author of several of my favorite sci-fi series. He writes really good science-heavy sci-fi. But he also wrote BattleTech before he wrote any of that other stuff. And his BattleTech is so good. He writes really good mech battles. Yeah, they're really good. So that's what Brendan and I are going to do next week, because Brendan, I don't think, is anywhere near as up on my up on the BattleTech universe as I am. Castellan is. Castellan comfortably more so. Castellan loves BattleTech and is a massive clanner, which is, he and I are at odds about that one. So I think the clan are idiots. Yeah. So that's what we want to do with that, and I actually really want to run possibly even a campaign in that universe, because it's a really cool idea. Recommended reading Dark Conspiracy. What are we saying? Dark Conspiracy series, Michael A. Stackpole. The Fiddleback. Oh yeah, he's got lots. Yeah, he does. Yeah, related series. That's yeah, you can see related series, X-Wing, Rogue Squadron, X-Wing, Wedge's Gambit, The Back to War. The Back to War was the first Star Wars novel I ever read. Book 4 of the X-Wing saga. Someone bought it for me. And like, you like Star Wars, right? And I'm like, yeah, I've never read any of the fiction. Did now. Over 100 books of Star Wars now. Evil Ascending. Yeah, alrighty, noted. Tycho Kane. That's a solid name. The Fiddleback trilogy. Is it... like, what's the setting? Where is it? Tycho Kane is a man... Go away. Man with a mission, he's sure of that. But waking up with the body bag and amnesia, oh dear. Author of I, Jedi and Rogue Squadron, yes he did. Near future world where technology and occult mysticism merge. Ooh. Oh, thank you very much, Tony. I will keep that in my to acquire. Alrighty. Where's my thing? There we are. Alrighty, so we need to, first of all, I want to make, back to what I'm supposed to be doing. I need to make a, let's see if I can find it, because Mitch sent it to me. So, you may have noticed if you were watching last night's episode. If you didn't, please do. It was excellent. If I do say so myself, I was very much a secondary element to it. The players I have for my original Humblewood crew are just phenomenal, and their 36 episodes of working together, they just gel so well, and it was a real treat to get them all back on screen together. But yeah, if you watched, or if you didn't, I'll tell you. I went to each of them and I said, I want a particular place, like a favorite place, or a place that your character remembers fondly from their backstory. And they were like, cool, yep, hook me up. And I used Jude and Trish's in the game last night, but I intend to use Nevermore and Helvix, but there will be a combat in one of them. But I'm not telling you which. So, I need to build both to keep the illusion up. And then we will use one of, or possibly even both of these maps. In fact, I might use both just to, like, oh, we're going to have combat? We've got a map, we're going to have combat? No. I really like keeping them on their toes like that. So I need to find what Mitch sent me. No, that's way too far back. Where are we? Kills boss with party. No, I think it is actually further up. That's the 5th of the 10th. 10th of the 5th, 10th of the 5th. That might be a little bit. No, I can't remember. I remember vaguely what it was. Basically, he was suggesting a boathouse. Like the attic space above a boathouse. That he remembered very fondly. From, like, yeah, on his family's estate, on the lake. So we're going to build that. 15 by 15 hexes. 15 hexes would be times 5. I'm rubbish at math. 75 feet square. That's not bad. That's about the right size. Let's do that. And we call it a boathouse. Gals. So, open editor. I don't imagine this being a particularly large building. And let's zoom out a little bit. There we are. Not a particularly big map. Here we go. Upgraded from the latest version. Thank you very much. Save and continue. Now go away from here. Leave me alone. There we are. Right, map saved successfully. Alright, so first of all, you sort out your floor. This is short grass with small stones. I reckon there would be quite, like, thick, lush grass. It's all wild grass here. We could do that. More than... That's more what sort of I imagine... Natural terrain, mixed ground. Yeah, but it looks like wallpaper. So each hex is coloured in individually. Grass. How about... That's a bit better. That's just grass. Darker grass. I like the lighter. There we go. Okay, so that's our floor. Now we need to build a building on it. So you click on the wall icon and... Alright. And so we want the floor would be... Select texture. Naturalistic wooden tiles. Pretty good. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, actually, no. First of all, what we need is a lake. So there is a sort of a painting tool. Brush texture. And you can just sort of brush grass over it. But if we say lake or water. Water. Yeah. Shimmering blue water. Water. Pretty good. So I can sort of draw water there. Isn't that neat? I like that. So I might just pick that water up and move it to the top of the map, however. I imagine it's sort of this. That's just cool. It's very useful. I like that. I'm not sure about that particular water. How about... Ugh, no, that's like a swimming pool. Ugh, dappled. That's a bit better. That's more like it. I reckon like darker, almost a river surface. No, not that. Shimmering blue. I like the river surface, but not... I almost think... Because that's a swimming pool. That one? I kind of like that. I really do. It just doesn't... It's not sea ground. Sea ground. What's that? Oh, okay, like a burnt out, like dried up riverbed. Okay, well, we will actually, tell you what, we will use that, but not for this. I think I want blue, just because water is blue, it's not, but just for delineation, just for clarity, I think that's what I want. Then, I think I want a second lot of, this time around, I do want to go that sea ground, sort of pebbles and... like that. Yeah. That's cool. I really, really like this tool. It's a very clever tool. It's relatively intuitive. And you gotta applaud that. You have to applaud intuitive. Right, now, how big does the boat need to be? Because now we're going to put the house on it. So we've got a floor, outer wall. The outer wall would be weathered wooden tiles. I don't mind that, particularly as we're not going to see it. Inner wall is also going to be weathered wooden tiles. Or corked wood. Let's make it corked wood. Yeah. Not that it matters. So. And then you sort of start a corner. I reckon we have to go there. 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 And now it'll fill it in. Isn't it neat? Should probably be out a little bit more over the water, to be honest. So, actually, I think we almost need to move the beach in and the water in. And add more water. No! Oh. Yeah. There we are. Again, super easy to use. What is the scale? 1 square side. Each hex is 5 squares. Each square is 5 feet. So this is a 15 by 15 square cube map. So 75 feet, I think. My math is right. But you could just as easily, you can set the map scale to whatever the hell you like. And then there would be, on the inside, well, let's talk about this particular room. I would like to add, like to split the wall. So now, there is, now there is a bend there, you can see. I split that wall again. So now, I can move that down there. And then if I split this wall as well. Damn it. And split that wall. Because a boathouse, basically, you can drive a boat in. I want this wall. Damn it! Ugh. Oops. There we go. I want to be able to pull this wall all the way down. There. Probably not that far. So you can, basically the premise is that you can pull a boat in and get up either side of it. It's like a jetty with a roof over it. There. There we go. Not bad. But a bit boring. In fact, I think now we need to extend these walls down a little bit as well, just to give more room for the actual stuff to happen in the building itself. You can also add levels, which we might play with, but I think first we need a door. So let's go to the doors. We have single wooden door. I want a double door. I reckon you would have a double door in this. We can plonk that there. I don't know how easily that shows up, but yeah, slam one in there. Wooden door double. And yeah, doors don't show up particularly well. We can have an open door, that helps a bit, but not really. Because that right there would be 30 feet, which is 5 times my length, my body length, which is about right. And then you have the boat come in. You could get a 25-foot yacht in there, which is a pretty big boat, to be honest. 25 feet yacht is a big boat. Although it probably wouldn't want to come in that close, because it's the draft on those things is huge. Again, I think I might actually have to move it. I might have to shift all of this. I'm going to delete all of my water and that, and I'm going to move this boy. Ah, that's right. You have to move sort of every point individually. But you can. Oh my goodness. Oh, you can do it. That's irritating. Stop it. Now I don't want to do that. I want to move just that one. Thank you. 15 foot wide, 25 foot long. Yeah, that's about right. Like that. Yeah, there we go. Right, now let's draw some sand. Because I actually think the sand needs to be about like here. So that the water new one going to be water. Out. Under. So you can actually pull a boat in. There you go. Better. Rum runners in the Bahamas. It does look rather crystal clear, doesn't it? There isn't really a better water texture, unfortunately. Like, yeah, it's all very crystal clear. I mean, you can do that. But it doesn't look like something you'd want to swim in, and I kind of do. That's a bit better. That look. It looks okay. River surface. Tool looks amazing. What's it called again? This is Dungeon Fog. Above my head. And yeah, it is pretty handy. It generates some pretty decent looking maps. Like already we have something that looks pretty good. I still think I want a sort of paler one, but that's just like, no, too bright. I think this is not that one even. That one's okay. Ugh, no, it doesn't look too bad on that screen. On stream, but for me it looks very bright. I almost favor that actually, but well, that's grass. Well, there's that dark water. That's almost better. I like that. I think that is what we'll go with. There we go. Cool. Now we need to fill it with some stuff so it doesn't look so boring. So first of all, I'm going to slap in a tree. So we have some things. Where are we at? You can just search up. You can search terms are fairly easy. Slap in the word tree, and it'll give you gives me a dead tree from the pirates, a palm tree, tree top. I have just a tree top in there. Pop that down there in the corner. Yeah. I like a bit of variety, so I go around and grab different trees. That's tiny. That one's rubbish. Oh. That there as well. Okay. Just a little spruce. Guest artists. Ash? Oh, street lamp. Okay, that's not helpful. Oh, because street contains the word tree. Bamboo tree? No. Mangrove tree? Yeah, that'll do. There you go. That's a bit better. A little bit more populated. Okay. Alrighty. Next. What would you find in a boathouse other than a boat? Maybe some coils of rope. Rope. Boom. Have some rope down there in the corner and another coil there. I think that's a good one. A rope ladder? No, I don't think so. What else? Barrels? Barrel singular. Oh yeah, here we go. Barrel. Pirates. Might have some stack of barrels in the corner. And here. Okay. An open barrel. Possibly pop that next to the rope there. Sci-fi. Containers. Side barrel, burning barrel, empty barrel. Oh no, that's all sort of future. But let's have a big barrel up there as well. There we go. That looks good. Possibly an anchor. Thoughts in chat? Anything else I could use? Anchor? Anchor side, anchor sunken anchor, anchor side, anchor top. Maybe. I like that, but I want it leaning against this wall, I think. So what we do is we rotate it through 90 degrees. And there it is. On its side. It's clever, isn't it? Really neat. I don't think it needs too much more, but I do want something else. What else would we find in a boathouse, guys? Might change the music up. This is a bit low ebb for me, even if it is a very chilled stream. Maybe because currently we're listening to the music of Jude's Kitchen. Let's can that. And how about I quite enjoy where is it techno? The techno beats is pretty good. It's not particularly barrels, yeah. Got a couple of barrels. How about some hay? No, it's like a square of hay though. Maybe not. Hay stack, hay pile, hay roll. No, none of them. Tools. Navigation tool. Ooh, we can do like a chair, possibly. Barrels. Nets! A net like that. Yeah, let's do that. Nets. Net. Pack traps. Craftsman. Arcane arts. Going planet model? What? Bounty hunters. Smooth. Okay, that's like internet. No. Flavor? Power pack. Signet. Trap. Net trap. There you go. Doesn't go above the walls. Nice. Good idea. There's a techno Viking who's basically a techno pirate. Yeah. Not very piratey. Oh, alright then. Actually, hang on. I do have pirate music. Let's do that. Pirate music. Literally there. There you are. You happy now? Some accordion. Got a net there on the floor. It does stick out a little bit, so I might just grab it and move it in. No, this. There we go. And I might rotate it 90 degrees so it'll fit a little better. There we go. There we are. That's a bit better, like that. Maybe some chairs. Ailstorm, yeah, but Ailstorm is copyright. Trust me, I have a whole bunch of pirate music. Don't worry about that, my friends. But it's all copyright stuff. I do have the intro music, which is copyright-free Pirate E music. The tool reminds me of old Neverwinter Nights construction tool a little. I never used that. See, this is the thing. I'm actually relatively new to D&D. I've only been playing for like 5 years. I fell hard when I did, but I resisted for a very, very long time. We were playing Neverwinter Nights the other day. Wow. Never have. I know where Neverwinter is, but alright, what else do we want? Possibly a chair? Wooden chair? Retro chair, smooth chair, like just furniture. Fantasy furniture, armchair, wooden chair. Organic? Chair organic. Oh no, that's like made of top chair, blah blah blah. Modern Vikings? That's actually not bad. I want to rotate it through about 45 degrees. And... oh, that's the wrong way. Now my math gets really hard. 315 degrees. To have it facing that way. There we go. I will zoom in a little bit so now you can see... oh, that's the wrong way. Go to 80. There we are. You got up there in the top corner is a little 2-seater chair. No, you can't see that at all. There we are. We've got our net down there. We've got some barrels, an open barrel there. I almost wonder if I should have put a boat in here. Just maybe a little one? Maybe a small boat. A broken boat. That'd be appropriate. And I definitely want to have that at about a 45-degree angle. Like that. There. Yes! D&D World is sometimes very, very small. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. Maybe slap some windows in as well. Doors and windows. Window. Fantasy. Fantasy windows. Wooden window. Boom. That's all I want. I kind of want this whole thing open, but there we go. That's a couple of windows. You know, just make it nice in there. It's not supposed to be a particularly nice building. For those interested, I am drinking Upside Down non-alcoholic golden ale. There you are. It's quite expensive, but really quite pleasant. And you know, for a recovering alcoholic. Ooh, an oar. If we've got a broken thing, we need some oars. Chopping board, keyboard. All of these words contain oar. Chopping board, animals. A boar? Wow, you can put animals in it. Outdoor. Big billboard, fantasy covers. I don't think they've got any. Community. Decoration. Ouija board. Maybe a workbench? Like that. Like up against this top. I think we need to rotate it through 90 degrees. And you can also increase the scale, so you can shrink things up, down, or bigger, make them bigger. I think pop it like there. And maybe another one there. Okay. Just workbenches. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's pull back a little bit and admire our handiwork. Back it to 50%. I'm pretty happy with that. Looks pretty good. Right. I will save that map. Lovely. And now the other one. I hope this music isn't too peaky. It's a little too jolly for me. It's a bit. Tell you what. We're focusing on being pirates. Then let's go to use the Saltar's Point sound set I made. Saltar's Point. What battle? There it is. With some wind, some waves. There's the boathouse. Create a new map. Now, I need to find what notes Dan, the DRAM himself sent me. Okay. Small garden outside of his house. Typical vegetables blooming, but since this is the relative outskirts of town, some people would probably be unnerved by the fact that just beyond is a forest of thick roots and briars and brambles and thorns. It calms him down, and he usually tends to the vegetables mundanely, and with his hedge magic, the garden reminds him of their resilience as folk in the town, that everything will work out if they persevere. So, a little country garden, vegetable garden, some wildflowers, some berries on the bushes, some berry bushes, that sort of stuff. So I think we'll need the outside wall of a house, but no, we're not talking about the inside, we're talking about the outside, and then a fence? So probably not a particularly big one. So let's say vegetable garden. I reckon 75 feet is probably more than sufficient. We could probably even drop it down to 50. Let's leave it at 75 because, you know, we always wind up taking up more space than we initially intend. And that's still small. It's still not a very big map. Okay, so let's pull it back a little bit. See our whole working board. Working board? Sure, that's the word. So we need, first of all, would it be grass? Probably. I actually like, so we have wild grass as well, which is apparently a different texture. That's kind of how I feel about it, and then we draw on the extra textures later, like roads and stuff like that. Well-worn paths and so forth. Sure. So, let's do... I don't think we need to change anything because it's just... I think it's a pretty rustic, rural country building. I always tend to put them at the bottom of the map. And I almost think I want the floor actually to make it roofing. Because we're not seeing inside. So maybe textured tiles? Or stone tiling? Let's do stone tiling. Or is there slate? Can we do weathered wooden tiles? I like that because it looks like slate. Let's do that. And I think that. And that's the back of Helvig's house. And I think there's a pathway up this side. And then we have forest up here. So, first steps first, let's smash some forest in. Trees. I wonder if you can just type forest. Give you anything? World map. World map. Broadleaf forest. Will it just give you lots of stuff? That'd be gosh darn handy. Loading over 500 images. But it is doing it very, very quickly. There we are. What does that look like? That right there is actually kind of what we're looking for. Where were you? Those pines. Oh, okay. It's a very, 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 very far zoomed out. Maybe not that broadleaf forest. I don't hate it, but it's not ideal. It's not what we're looking for. So let's say trees. A fir tree. A dark fir tree. Treetop. And I'm just sort of looking to hodgepodge patches of bamboo. We want it looking spruce. Okay. Like really, these are world map. These are all the big stuff. We don't want any of that. Nest artists, lost civilizations, Celts, elder tree. Oh, that's cool. It's glowing. That's why Helvig became a god of murder, because he grew up next door to that. No, probably not. Let's lose the elder tree. Ooh. Okay. Back to trees. No, come on. Tree. What else? What else? The elder tree, we've got, there you go, Riverlands tree. And a different tree. And possibly if we could get like a tree stump. There you go. Ah, no, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a fallen trunk. And let's rotate it by about 30 degrees. And pop it there. Like that. Okay. And now I just need to fill the rest of the top of the map with palm tree. Looks silly. Pop a tree chop over the top of it. There we are. Far east. Trees. No, 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 no. That's on its side, first of all. Okay, now, we need a fence. Can you try this tool for free for a period? I want to say yes. I think you can. Let's find out. I will use my other internet account. Dungeon Fog. Free RPG map maker. Accept all. Start now for free. Looks like it. You do need to, like, sign up, but it would seem so. I imagine there's a fair amount of restricted content. But yeah, you can start playing around with it for free. Yeah, by the looks of it. Yep, there you go. It is in association with The Great GM, with World Anvil, and with Kaora. And Dag. So there's our back garden. I want just a fence. I wonder if even we could do it with props rather than actually having to make. Oh, it's checking. It's finding some corrugated fence, broken fence, fence top, fence stop. I'm going to zoom in because I can't really see what the heck that is. Oh, that's out. 100, please. That's not bad. Fence gate. Oh yeah, Yeah, we could work with that. You're very welcome, Tony. That's sort of the point of this, is like sharing the knowledge and show. Yeah, it's kind of the whole point. I don't mind this. Fence, bent fence, iron fence post. These are huge. That's enormous. Corrugated fence. Ugh. Broken fence. Yeah. I reckon we can just use these. I reckon that's fine. I'll delete a few bits and pieces. Like that. Delete that. I think we need that right now. Don't need him. So. Draw back out so I can see what I'm doing. I reckon we want to rotate that guy through 90 degrees. And pop it down here next to the house. Possibly along that grid line. And then do the same to the others. Oh, there we are. And build ourselves a little... I actually don't even think we want to go along this edge. I think we just build a fence to the forest. I reckon we have that gate open. That right? Yep. Turn that on its 90 degrees. And we're nearly there. It feels a little bit like, you know, programming a bit, but yeah, it's surprisingly intuitive. Well, yeah, once you get your head around it, it's not bad. They're not paying me to say these things, so I don't have to be nice if I actually don't think it's particularly good. Oh, it's a fence. Stop! Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, well. Dyslexia is a hell of a thing. Put the fence stop up there then, and we have... As in a place where the fence ends. You should mail them an invoice for like a shilling. Eh. No, I have a huge amount of time for Dungeon Fog. They sponsored a charity event that I was involved with on Roll for Damage last year. And, you know, anybody who backs any amount of charity work at all, I will give them a free shout-out. It costs me nothing. And, hey, look, Tony, if you go away and you enjoy this, and then they maybe get a little bit of business out of doing me a good favor in the first place, because I'm getting free maps. So it works for literally everybody. Everybody benefits, and why not? The whole world needs more of that. We need to be being kind to each other. It's my whole thing. So let's have I think we want now to paint on a little path. A path. Wonder if we just type path. Will give us that? No, okay. Dirt. There we go. Flattened dirt. Compressed dirt. Mixed dirt. That's a bit brown. I don't like that one. I don't think this village is particularly... I don't think there's a lot of passage. Maybe mixed dirt. That. Yeah? Alright. Username you! Hey! Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'm playing around with a map making tool called Dungeon Fog. It's kind of fun. Guten Tag! Wie geht es Ihnen? Yeah, all mine here. That's about all I know, really. Right, so that's the back end of the house. What kind of town you making? I am making the back garden of one of my players for a potential combat. Maybe. I don't know where it'll happen. It'll definitely happen. So far, username you, we have built a boathouse for Nevermore. So being able to search through other people's really quickly. Yeah, you can check out other people's stuff. If they published it, then you can grab that. And if you have the subscription, then they'll let you just use it. Yeah, that's really handy as well. Good point, Dead Fox. Yeah, look, it's definitely something I could see myself becoming quite au fait with quite quickly. Dan Swelto swears by it. He had a subscription while he was running a campaign over on Roll for Damage called Shore's Edge, and he did all the maps for that. And it was all done on Dungeon Fog. Whereas I tend to be sneaky and just find royalty-free stuff on Google at the moment. How about a small pond? I like that. Nice. Okay, yeah, let's do a small pond. Small pond. I wonder if we just have a look in props and say pond. Cave? Cave pond. That's pretty good. It's very small, but maybe if we increase the scale by 200% for this pond, that's a bit better. Yeah, I like it. Nice idea, username you. A wooden fence around the perimeter. There is a wooden fence. Few power flower patches near the pond. Probably, yes. Hang on, let me just delete the little one. There is a fence. I will go in, I will zoom in a little bit so you can see. There's our fence along the perimeter. And then we've got like a dirt tracky situation along there. I actually kind of want to draw the dirt track again because I don't like it. So I'm going to draw that again. But I only think I want it going to about the gate. Like that. Because people go to the gate and then go in, but they don't walk past the gate, really. There's no need. Medium rocks for a rock garden? Yeah. So the premise of this is actually it's a vegetable garden. And it's sort of semi-wild, which is why I like the idea of the pond. So I think if we have the pond near the house, possibly even near the garden, near that edge, so that it looks sort of... No, actually, I think it should be down there. And then if we surround it with bushes... Yeah, still some rocks, though. Yeah, all right. Throw some rocks in. We just get some crumbled rocks. Yeah. Can you do that? No? Why are you not? No? No crumbled rocks. There you go. Crumbly rocks. A big old pile of rocks. Ooh. I like that, like there. Ooh, no. I need it. I think that one's too big. I don't like that. It's the wrong colour, if anything else. Yeah, I got a couple of rocks down there. What else do we need? Also some medium rocks for the rock garden. Still some rocks, yeah. A few flower patches near the pond. I don't disagree with the flower patches near the pond, so let's have flowers. Outdoor. Flowers. I'm going to scale them up. That's cute. Yeah, that's very cute. I like that. Got them as well. I have to zoom in to see them. There we go. Maybe if we crank the scale on that as well. 2,000, probably too big. Yeah. That. There! That's cute. Yeah, I like it. Victorian, what vase with flowers? We don't need that. Alright, so now we want berry bush. Bush? Just say bush for the now. Bush with rocks. Bush with berries. Problem is, they actually need to be under the trees. A large bush. Look at that. That's enormous. Potato, carrot, wheat patches. Yes. Vegetable. Yeah, got nothing. Garden. Tables? Garden bench. There definitely would be a garden bench. Hey, along the back wall of the house, there would definitely be a garden bench. That's 10 feet wide. Pretty wide. I think we also need a back door for the house. Hey. So let's find... Wooden door. It's not ajar. It is closed. And it will be there. And then there will be a couple of shutters. One there. And one there. Huh? It also adjusts light sources as well, which is quite well. A small well. I reckon because they've got the pond. I don't want to overload it. These are all good thoughts, though. Thank you, username you. It needs... I need, like, veggie patch. I want lots of veggie patch. Possibly surrounded by their own fences. But we've got a little log to sit on up there. We've got the little pond. We've got a bench to sit on and observe. And yeah, I think we want now... Maybe we draw it with the drawing tool, and we find flowers. Dirt, grass with flowers. Dirt with grass and flowers. Not very good, though. I did sort of a square there. Yeah, like that doesn't look like flowers at all. Maybe maybe I have to zoom in to 300. Oh yeah, no, there it is. It's just really pale. Why is it so pale? Like, no. Oh, you can snap to grid and have it. That's cool, I guess. I still don't like it. I'm gonna pull back out and yeah, that's not the right texture. Let us say instead, potato is very good. Potatoes, but yeah, potato plants just look like little green. I've got some in my garden. I have a very healthy vegetable garden, and yeah, they're just sort of large, broad green leaves above ground. So why don't we just say plants? Brown earthen plants, stone, natural stone, dirt, ground. Stone, natural stone. Old rock face with plants. Yeah, no. I reckon we say dirt. And then we put some plants in it. Because I still don't like that for it, though. I want darker. Like, I want something nice and, like, healthy-looking loam, almost. Dirt. Mixed dirt. I just think that might be the... Oh, no, that's alright. Yeah, let's do that. That's fine. Yeah. And then we go to props. This is harder than I thought it would be. I thought this would be the easy one. Plants. Plant. Rubber plant. Riverlands. Lost civilizations. Cosmic horror. I actually think that might be okay. I like that. That's about right. Yeah. You'll do. Plant 2. But I might rotate some of these a little. Say through 60 degrees. What else we got? That actually kind of works. I'm really mildly surprised by that. There is plant 5, which is... Some of these go very cosmic horror. Like, that's light source. It's very cool. I got plant 4. I don't hate that. But it's... I'm on plant 3. Plant 3's kind of cute. Now they're all glowing. Yeah, let's have you. Yeah. The other ones are all right. Potatoes very good. What else can we have? Plant. Carnivorous plants. Yeah, that's okay. But, oh yeah, there we go. There we go. There we are, boys. Rotate 145. The one we've got this boy. Yes. I think the other trick is that he did specify it is sort of wild. Rubber plant. That's huge. Rubber plants are huge. Civilization. Got sci-fi as well, apparently. Trees. Potted plant. Nope. I don't hate it, but it doesn't really. It's not the vibe we're going for. I think that's the sort of thing I'm looking for. I reckon we want like a couple more of them. So let's draw 2 more. I reckon we still want. Never seen a rubber plant in real life. I think I have. I grew up in Southeast Asia, in Singapore for a lot, and so I had a fair amount of yes. My childhood was often in tropical areas, and yes, pretty sure I've seen. I'm pretty confident I know what a rubber plant looks like. Crumbled rocks. Not quite. We want dirt. Planet dirt. That is a Transformers 2 reference. And I want another one. A lila one. Up here. And so there's like grassy pathways around the garden, if you know what I mean. That's funny, Dead Fox. He is laughing. And then we just smash out as many plants as we can. We found a few good ones, so let's just... yeah, I don't mind plant 1 and plant 2. Lilo and Stitch. Oh yeah, right, okay, I'm with you. It's like, I'm being laughed at. I'm sure I said something funny. I am a very funny person. That is my experience of me. I'm confused now. Is a rubber plant a real thing, like an ornamental rubber flowers? Or like an ornamental rubber flowers? Rubber plant. I imagine them as quite large. Yeah. A rubber fig. Ficus elastica. The Indian rubber bush, Indian rubber tree, is a species of flowering plant from the family Morchriae, native to eastern parts of Southeast Asia. There you are. And they look like that boy. It's a rubber plant. It's one from the side. Everything you need to know about your rubber tree plant. Yeah, you obviously can get fake ones. They do kind of look fake. They have this sort of glossy texture to them. But yeah, no, that's a real one. Yeah, they're real. I'm good. I don't need to join you. Thank you. Thanks for the invite, though. It's super kind. Vegetable garden. Alright, so let's slap in some more plants, but not a rubber plant. I don't think it makes sense to have one in there. What's the Helvig's ongoing gardening. And we play with the rotation. And we could probably have some little flowers in here as well, shouldn't we? Say 53 degrees. For a bit of a rotation there on that one. And there as well. It's starting to look quite verdant and populated. Why don't we throw in some flowers? We found some pretty ones earlier. Flowers, flowers, flowers. There we are. Cactus flower. Ooh, cactus flower. I'm going to put one of them by the... that. Cactus flowers are so pretty. Ooh, sunflowers. He would definitely have sunflowers. Yes. I think we're going to put a big stand of sunflowers in there. And another one, which I will rotate through 90 degrees, by the pond. Fair enough, fairy muff. You learn something new every day. Well, that's my idea. I always try to. Let's have some... I think we need to increase the scale on these ones by at least 150%. To make them stand out. Little colourful little border of Ig's pretty little garden. It's the little more mundane ones. Okay. Starting to look quite full. Back to plants. What else could we type? Get something different. Carnivorous plant is too big, much too big. You know that though. That's a sort of vine. 145. Oh, another one up there, and one there. Ah, we're looking to. I think this is really what we want. Turn it by 70 degrees. And then we want a couple more of them. I've escaped. Gone rogue. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's zoom back out. Nope, that's in. Fool. Out. Sort of the semi-tame, semi-wilderness back garden situation for Helvig. The back door is locked, so they won't be able to go inside because I don't like them escaping my my areas. You know what I do need to put? Another fence along the other wall. So if we're talking about escaping, fence. We need fence stop, which we have to turn on 90 degrees. And pop it there. And then we need fence, which we also need to turn by 90 degrees. And have it down the edge. Go. Complete back garden. Yeah. I like that. That's super cute. I also quite like square because the spot I have for it in the overlay is also square. Awesome. I really like that. That's really cute. Alrighty. Well, there you have it. That right there, gentlemen and ladies, if there are any ladies watching, is Dungeon Fog. It's how you use it. I would say I've given you a reasonably good tester into it all. I hope that's been enlightening or enjoyable for you. I've enjoyed it. I might actually, because it's really bugging me. I might grab that little boy and just pop him in there. Because that was upsetting me. I was like, no, it's not in the ground! What else do we need? I think we need a few more props, like a wheelbarrow? Let's see if we can find a wheelbarrow in the props section. A wheelbarrow. I want to get a real barrow. Hungry Kobold! Good evening. How are you? Nice to see you. Wheelbarrow. No wheelbarrows. How about just a barrow? No. I really thought there'd be a wheelbarrow. Wagon. Wow. Maybe I just can't spell. Flag, moss, tent, moss. Moss. Right. Put some in there, actually. Hard to tell, but I think it's pretty cool. Gravel. How do be the creating locomotion device that transport objects from one place to another that has one wheel? Yeah, but it's a very, very specific search term. Let's see if I can find, yeah. Carpenter. Carpenter, craftsman, carpenter table cluttered. No, not really. Hey, Hungry Kobold, nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh the Pirate. This is Corsair's Cove. We're having a bit of a chill evening this evening, just playing around with Dungeon Fog, which I've never played around with before. This is the map we're making. It is for a game we will be playing next Monday. This is one of the two maps that there may be a combat on, but I'm not telling you which, you cheeky monkey. I am a Dungeon Master channel runner here on Corsair's Cove with my lovely wife. And we tell D&D stories at the moment 3 nights a week. But I also do on Tuesday, I like to just come and hang out with some folks and do some D&D related things. And tonight, the D&D related thing is playing around with Dungeon Fog, which is not something I'd actually played around with a lot before, but doing this made me realize I actually did have a vague idea of how it all worked, which is kind of cool. That pond is super pretty up close. Look at that. It's really, really pretty. I like it, and I hope Dan will too, because this is sort of a present for one of my players, because he said, I'm going to do this. In my game, I'm switching characters since our team is lacking a tank character, since our fighter left the group because of school and work. Fair enough. Party balance is important, although I would argue that playing a game without a tank is actually kind of fun. You also don't need to be the traditional tanky character to play a tank. For example, like fighter or pally or barb, all good tanks. You say that. Have you considered an abjuration wizard? Or a particular kind of warlock? Play anything Warforged and you're fairly tanky. What is in the pond? My guess would be, I have no idea. When I created my tank, I accidentally created the Pursuer from the Dark Souls 2. Oh, cool. Like that. Minus the floating and glowing sword. Yet. What you need there is sacred blade. Summon sacred weapon. D&D group should never need a tank. Well, this is it. So I'm going to go back to the pond. I would say goldfish. Why not? That's fantastic. I would say, I agree, Tony. I don't think you need a tank. For example, neither of my Humblewood campaigns have one. Jude is a paladin, but she's a glass cannon. She can't take a hit. Jude has gone down in every boss fight we have had. The tank, actually, technically, the party tank of that party is Trish. Trish has a level in Barbarian and is 62 hit points to Jude's 39. Trish just routinely rolls really, really well. She's mostly a rogue, though. But you combine a bunch of roguish stuff with a single level of Barbarian to get the rage. And And she definitely justified it with her roleplay as well. So yeah, that definitely worked. And Trish is definitely the party tank. Though Helvig is now back. Helvig is a Warforged hedgehog. So Helvig will have an AC in excess of 20, just as normal, because he's metal hedgehog. Trish is a killing machine. Exactly right, Nelderberry. Good to see you, my friend. How are you? Thanks for joining us last night. I hope you enjoyed the game. I had a great time. Funny thing is too is that they are a possessed armor, but I'm using the Warforged stats to be easier than creating a new race and balancing. Absolutely. No, that sounds sensible. I like it. Yeah, that's how I would have approached that. Yeah. I mean, this is what I intend to do because our hedge, we play in the Humblewood setting most of the time, and the Humblewood setting is all anthropomorphic animals. And it's gorgeous. 20 AC and an Echo Knight. Nice. That's solid. I would have suggested Rune Knight, because Rune Knight is the best kind of fighter. But yeah, Echo Knights are also very, very solid. So Helvig was a hedgehog. Hedgehogs have just the hedge race has a base AC that is quite high. It's functionally always a 16, and if they curl up and therefore sacrifice the ability to move or really do very much, it becomes 19 just as standard. However, he got we have something called the Harrow Bar. When that filled up from donations, we roll on the deck of many's harrowing deck, and something really nasty happens sometimes, and occasionally something really nice happens. And Helvig got a really good one where all of his armor just melted off, but he's a hedge, he can't wear armor anyway. And then his skin becomes made of steel, so I ruled that it was his spines that got made of steel, and his AC is buffed by 10 points. And I was like, I'm not having you have an AC of 26 as standard. So we worked out we basically said what his base AC would be were he not a hedgehog. So it's 20 plus his dex mod. So I think his base AC is like 22, which is still ridiculous. But now he died, and they went to the plane of fire where his soul was, got it back, and now they're building him a body to put his soul into. And so he is going to be. I will be using the rules for Warforged for him. I will allow him to keep a couple of his hedgehog racial feats, but I will not rule that he can curl up into a ball, and in fact they have made his Warforged body capable of doing so, but I will not rule that he is actually going to benefit mechanically from doing that for his AC, just because it doesn't make a lot of sense that he would, nor does he ever do it, so it's not going to be that problematic. But I will give him all the Warforged bonuses instead. Just because that character's been through a lot. I went Echo Knight to fit more with the possessed theme, since the second one is a more ghostly figure version of them. Yeah, absolutely. No, good idea. I'm kind of invested in finding a wheelbarrow now, and there must be one. Let's just say wheel. Let's just type in wheel. Wheel cart with ore. A wheel cart. That's what a wheel cart is. Yeah, that's a wheelbarrow. Hay cart? There we go. That's sort of what I'm looking for. Let's pop it over here by the pond at a 45-degree angle. And I'm also going to increase the scale on it a little bit. Let's make it 150. There we go. No, I want it through... Not 45. What's 45 plus 90? 135. That there. I think that's what I want. In fact, I actually think I want it through another 180. I think I want it at 315. That's it. I want the prong facing in. That's it. This is me boy. And maybe a stump somewhere. Also has the alert feat and sentinel. Oh god, yeah, he's going to be beastly. Yeah, that's power build. Power build, Hungry Kobold. Me and my friend who is playing a ranger 2 weapon fighting, did a mock battle after the session. He didn't hit me once during the fight because he didn't roll higher than a 10. I'm like, well, yeah, look, that's rough. 2 weapon fighting as well, so he should have gotten a lot of hits. A Guardian from Star Wars 5e has Alert and Sentinel as well. Nice. I want to find just a single, like, because that's, stump. 3 stump. There you go. I kind of want it... I want it bigger as well. I want quite a big one. Like that. And I want it like... there. There. Sort of bookending that. There we go. It's not too cluttered. There's a lot of space, a lot of open space. No one has to walk on anybody's garden. By the way, I should mention this is my first ever D&D campaign, and I'm kind of new to creating characters. You guys are giving me frights over what I may have to come against with my one player playing a soldier and the other playing a psycho. Don't know what to tell you there, bloody. So this is my point with what I was saying about my campaigns is neither of them really have a party tank. That being said, Bennick is in the other party now, and Bennick is an Abjuration Wizard, and Abjuration Wizards are extremely good tanks. The thing I say about a tank, though, is they have to not just be able to take a hit, but also dish one out. Otherwise, what you got there is a meat shield. Because by barbarians, people say they're tanks. I would disagree. Barbarians are meat shields. You get up to higher levels, barbarians they can tank a lot of damage, but they're not particularly good at dishing it out. Whereas, you've got squishy wizards at the other end of that spectrum. Can't take a hit for shit, but can dish it out like anything. I think if you're going to play tank, you've got to be a pally. And once you get to level 5, you cross-class into Bard, and you become truly scary, because then you're a paladin with smites for days. I once played the highest level character I've ever played. He was level 19 by the end of it, Val, and Val was 16 levels in Bard, 3 pally. And he went one-on-one with Baphomet, and won. He was doing something up around, because with College of Whispers, you can burn your Bardic Inspiration dice to increase your damage, and then you can add that to Smite. So whenever you and you can do both of those after you find out you crit. So when you crit, the DM was ruling a crit was just double max damage. So you work out what the maximum possible damage you could do, then double it. Without rolling any dice, you just automatically got the max. And it was something in the range of 200 plus hit points of damage on a crit. And I got 2 of them in that fight. 4 times at level 1. Alright, level 4, yeah. Yeah, that's messed up, Hungry Kobold. You say you're new to D&D, but I would say you sound like you know what you're doing. In Neverwinter Nights, I learned about how metagaming can ruin other people's fun. Sorcerer class gets to stop time, but it applied to everybody in the server. It was a bit toxic. Yeah. You do need to be careful with it, and I think the thing is with RPGs, particularly tabletop ones, you're sitting around a table, there is an important element about allowing everybody to keep their own agency. And it can be really problematic because there's always the argument of, it's what my character would do. I'm like, yeah, but what your character would do is stupid. And also, if that's what your character would do, this is what my character would do. If 2 can play at that game. I did have it wasn't a proper argument. We didn't see eye to eye on it, but one D and it actually was that character. It was Val I was talking about before. He was in a campaign with a very, very big dumb barbarian. Who is a lovely person. Tig is a sweetheart. And Tig is big dumb. And Tig had been bewitched to try and want to kill one of the other party members. And Val was having none of that. The problem was the other party member was also trying to kill her because he'd also been bewitched. And Val was like, stop, both of you. He bewitches one of them, and he bewitches the other guy and says, you, fuck off. You walk a kilometer that way and then wait for me. And then he turns to Tig, who wasn't really bewitched in the same way. She was just really convinced of something. And says, Tig, you've got to stop. This is all messed up, and I can fix it. Uncle Val will fix, but you need to stop. And Tig refused. So I polymorphed her into a sloth. And we went to break afterwards, and the DM said, you need to be careful with that, because that really invalidated Sarah's agency. And I was like, yeah, but also... and I said, yeah, but also Sarah was like, Tig was being stupid, and Sarah was like, that was what Tig would do in that situation. And I was like, yeah, but that was what Val would do in that situation. He didn't want the barbarian killing the archer. Makes perfect sense if you think about it. Like, Sarah burned her hero coin to resist being turned into a sloth, and I was like, I do it again. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I have spell slots for days. I am level 16 bard. I can keep doing this. It's only a level 4 spell. I can cast it 8 times. Like, I will turn you into a sloth. I know I acknowledge that you don't want me to, and I'm gonna anyway. Because you need to not do this. Val's will was done regardless. And yeah, it was difficult, and I totally got where they were coming from, but it didn't serve the story particularly well, because I said, do you have a way to resolve this situation, or are you just going to knock 7 kinds of shit out of each other? And they were like, well, yeah, that was our plan. And I was just like, you see, my way was better, and resulted in fan art. Like, it told a good story. It wasn't the story they wanted to tell, but it did tell a good story. I did have my story head on. And so... yeah, there is an element of you do have to allow the other players to have their agency, and as the DM, you do have to allow the players to have their agency. But there also does come a point of, no, that's just fucking stupid. I find broken stuff when not even looking for it. I went Echo Knight because it sounded cool, and adding a second target for enemies to attack keeps attacks off my team. Exactly right. Like, Echo Knight's an excellent tank. Good there. So yeah, what I was saying about it is a really tricky thing. I'm very fortunate that I very rarely have it in my games. I suppose the big trick with that situation was the player who was playing Tig was the girlfriend of the DM, and so he was a little bit more awakened to making sure she got her turn in the spotlight than everybody else, whereas I would argue that actually she got quite a bit more time in the spotlight than everybody else did, and I didn't think it was actually problematic. So in that instance, yeah, it was difficult, and as the player in that situation, I took their thoughts on board, and as soon as I was confident it wasn't going to be a problem anymore, I stopped her being a sloth right away. But it was, it wound up, it wasn't, I think it was still a very solid story. It still told quite an interesting tale, and it's still one of my favourite bits of D&D ever. Just sort of like, I turn you into a sloth. What? Yeah, I'm not turning you into a slug or anything, I turn you into something cute. But what was great was she had a wooden arm that was donated by an ent, because she lost one of hers, and this sloth had a wooden stick arm. It was really cute. And she wound up cuddling my sort of familiar. We had a Kenku that helped us out. He was a level 3 wizard, so he was squishy as all hell. And he was just guiding us to where we were going. And I was like, here, book, because that was his name. Hold Tig while I went off and dealt with everything else. 4th party member, it is worthy to note, had his leg shot off with an arrow by the other guy, by the one that was trying to kill Tig. And he was sitting there like, ah! So Val's like, oh, for fuck, I have to fix everyone. So Val cast regeneration on the guy's leg. And the DM ruled that the leg did not reattach, even though that is specifically the wording in the spell. And I was really hacked off about that. And the reason he did that is because the barbarian wanted to eat the leg. With my tank choice, I was torn between 3 characters created Sis, the Goblin Fighter, who is a former town guard of a destroyed town and was the sole survivor. My Warforged, I'm playing a Fang and human barbarian, a former wolf turned human by a magic man, as he would call them, and his pack don't recognize him, and he now looks for a new pack that would accept him. I adore that. That is such a cool idea. That's great. I think your human your Warforged sounds really cool, and best of luck with that. But definitely use the barbarian at some point. Love the goblin, but that is such a cool concept. I really like that one. That's very cool. Yeah, you better play it because I give you a year, and then I'm using it. I kid. Fang is not all that smart. Doesn't matter. Doesn't need to be. I played a game once with a friend of mine who he played an awakened cat, who was a wizard. No, he was a bard. He used to be a wizard's familiar, and the wizard, as his dying act, awakened him and turned him big. So he's a tabaxi. But yeah, he's stupid as. He rolled really poorly for his stats, so I think he had a 13, and he didn't put it in charisma for a bard. So he's a really poorly optimized character. It was very funny. Kit, the character's name was. Anyway, guys, I've been streaming for a couple of hours now, and it's been lovely chatting with you all, but I think I should go away from here now. So I will be back tomorrow night with One Shot Wednesday. We will be playing in the Humblewood with a brand new crew. We will have Jack O'Brien from Roll for Damage. We will have Rahema Rowe, a good and long-term friend of mine. We will have Mitch from the Flocks and Fire campaign playing as a new character, a Luma Bard. And we will have Swag, the sometimes occasional player over on Phoenixy Wacky. So a really big melting pot, which is sort of the point. I really wanted that. That is what I want Corsair's Curve to be. So it's really cool to have that coming. So we will be starting 7:30, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Probably more like 8 o'clock because I work till 6:15 at least. Yeah, please come back and check us out then. We will also be back on Thursday night for the penultimate episode of this season of Monsters and Magic, where the guys are currently in the process of breaking a whole bunch of political detainees out of a nasty prison called the Smouldering Delve. And then back on Monday night for the final episode of Cinders and Souls, which we will be using these maps, what we created right here tonight in. So yeah, lots more D&D on Corsair's Cove in the next week, and we'd love to see you guys there. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us. Hungry Kobold, thank you for the follow. Good on you, bloody champion. I will say another thing, I create way too many characters. Oh yeah, no, of course. Yeah. No, we all do that, mate. Don't worry. Such as Kiss, the Kobold Warlock, whose mother is his patron, and she is a scubbus. Oh, right. So his spells all have to do with the mind. That's neat. I like that. Yeah, that's cool. I kind of like the idea of a Warlock whose mum is their patron, but she's just really nice. I've always wanted my one that I've got in the back pocket that I haven't played for a while. I've never played, but I kind of want to. Is someone who's a deity. So you play them Azimar. You'd use Azimar rules, but they're a deity, but only of one small place, nowhere near here, like a pond, 3 continents away. So the rest of the world, they were basically just. I'd probably go like a paladin, but it's literally a paladin of themselves. But, yeah, a paladin of a very deeply minor deity that basically no one worships. They're not looking for worshippers. They're just out traveling the world because they were bored hanging out in their pond. Yeah, his mother was real nice, but overmothers him, and my friend said he would have her drop in and hand cooked meals. Yes. Yeah, I adore that kind of RP. That kind of... It's silly, it's funny, but it also... Every now and again, that shit gets heavy. And that opens up the interesting. So yeah. Anyway, we need to find someone to raid. Now you get to see behind the screen. Ooh, that's trippy. Not sure how I feel about that. Create a dashboard. Who do we raid? Tell you what, I haven't raided the GM's workshop for a gosh darn while. So So let's drop a raid on GM's Workshop. Because Rakan always raids me instead. Behind the scenes, oh no! Thanks for the amazing stream. Bloody thanks for coming. Guys, it was actually really lovely. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Crafting. Well, tell you what, before we go, because you've shown up, I will show you what we were doing. How about that? We learned about rubber plants. This is a rubber plant. Have a fantastic day. It turns out rubber plants are a real thing. Ficus elastica. We learned about A Gathering Evil by Michael A. Stackpole. It is on my to-read list now. And we played around with Dungeon Fog, Mr. and Mrs. Crafting. We made a couple of maps. Let's show Mr. and Mrs. Crafting our maps. So this is one of them. Crack it out to about 50%, you can see the whole thing. This is a vegetable garden for Helvig Dewpoint, or Helvig Anvilwrought, as his name may become. You're very welcome, Tony Karlstrom. Very nice, and everyone needs a rubber plant. I have a dragon plant up there. I'm a big gardener as well. I have loads of vegetables and things like that. I've got a very healthy passion fruit vine at the moment. So this is one of them. This is the back of Helvig's house, down here at the bottom, and then we've got a little pond, and a path. Down there, and yes, sort of the brambly, foresty bits down the bottom. And we save, and then we leave. Yes. And the other one we did, the pond is really cute. The pond was somebody in chat's idea. I think Dead Fox, or possibly Bloody. Might have been Hungry Kobold. I can't remember. Somebody had a really good idea to put a pond in, so we did. And the other one we did was the boathouse. We did a boathouse for Nevermore's house. This is sort of the place where one of his favorite places when he was growing up is this place. And yeah, we're just playing around with the tool, finding out how it all works. You're very welcome. I enjoyed the crafting of it. It's kind of fun. It's got a little anchor in there. It's yes, these maps will be used on Monday night for the Humblewood two-shot Cinders and Souls, which is the original Flux and Fire crew coming back for a two-shot before. The plan is to start a new campaign with some of that crew. Unfortunately, they can't all commit to the time slot, which is totally fair. And AJ has been warning me of that for ages, so absolutely fine. AJ's got an awful lot of her own stuff coming up. But yes, we will have 2 of the original 4 staying around and proceeding on in a new campaign with a couple of other people who we are meeting tomorrow night. So it's sort of a session 0 tomorrow night, which will be our one-shot Wednesday, which we don't always do, but we will be doing tomorrow. And with a couple of other exciting people, Jack O'Brien, Mitch Earnshaw, Swag, John from Phoenix Awaki, one of the Johns, not the showrunner John, not Phoenix, and Rahima Rowe, who is brand new to streaming, which is kind of exciting, but she's been playing D&D for ages, she's fine. She plays with Brendan, who is in my Thursday night game. So yeah, there you are, Mr. and Mrs. Crafting. Thank you for joining me. It's lovely to see you. It's always a pleasure, and I do love it because Mr. and Mrs. Crafting originally came in on a raid and just stuck around and were really nice in chat, and we're really glad to meet them, and yeah, it's super cute. And it's really cool that you keep coming back in. Don't let me keep you? No, that's absolutely fine. So we will go and raid now. I don't have anywhere particularly to be, it's just I should probably, I'm running out of stuff to say, and I'm getting a little tired. So, GM's Workshop is streaming, so we will drop a raid on them, I think. Rakam is an absolute legend, and it looks like he's doing more of the same sort of thing, world building, that I was. So we will drop a raid on them. So guys, throw your favorite raid emotes up in chat, tell Rakam where you came from, and I will just say one thing before we go, because I haven't mentioned yet this evening. I'd need to talk to you about Ukraine, because the Ukrainian people are having a bit of a rubbish time right now, as you may have noticed, and it's kind of important that we do something about it. So we on Corsairs Cove have decided we will do what we can. And what we can do is put that link up in chat. That is the link to the emergency action appeal. They've currently raised over $4 million for Ukrainians fleeing violence. There are over 8 million Ukrainians doing that, so that's a lot, and so that's like 50 cents each, which all of a sudden doesn't feel like that much. So if you do have any digital pennies rattling around your digital wallets, please consider throwing them that way. Smash the link there, and it'll take you right over there. Donating is super easy, and it would be incredibly appreciated. Beyond that, we have been asked to do that specifically by one of our players. I cannot mention her name because it would be problematic for her government. So, guys, I have been Josh the Pirate. It has been an absolute pleasure, and we will throw that raid over to Rackham now. So, guys, thanks very much, and I will see you next time. Say goodbye, Josh. Bye.